to another episode of the Lone Recruiter Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Clemenson, and if you're a recruiter out on your own or just lacking general guidance or mentorship, then you've come to the right place. Our daily episodes are designed to give you the motivation, advice, and strategies you need to succeed as a lone recruiter. So join us, grab a cup of coffee, and let's take your desk to another level. Today, we are joined by Freddie from Talent Supply. She's going to help us on our quest to interview 100 recruiters, the same 5 questions, and about what makes her successful as a recruiter. I'm really interested to find out her answers. Freddie, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. No, you're welcome. Let's kick it off. 60 seconds. Tell me what you want to tell me. Where do you start? How'd you get here?
So, well, as you can probably pick up from my accent, I'm not originally from Australia. No. I'm Italian. I've been in Australia, this beautiful country, for 10 years. Started off in recruitment 6-7 years ago. I used to work for a large organization for a few years.
Which
one?
Which
was Randstad.
Oh, the big one.
Yes, the big one. Really good organization, trained me really well. So all the basics and stuff. And then I left Randstad. I joined another boutique agency where, again, I learned a fair bit. And then I got to a point where I'm like, I can actually do this for myself.
Why not?
And so, yeah, here I am. Been 2 years in business, opened up my own business, Talent Supply. Doing well.
Wonderful. It sounds like it. Hiring staff,
yes.
Kicking goals.
I
love it. So it would be safe to say you know a little bit about recruitment.
A little bit, yeah, I'd say so.
So look, you know what we're here to do. We have 5 questions we want to ask. And as I said before, 100 recruiters, the same 5 questions, and every answer we've had so far has been different, which I love. So I'm really, really excited to hear what you have to say. So let's kick things off. Number 1, what is the one KPI that matters the most to your desk?
So to me, I think the KPI that matters the most will be client experience.
Okay.
Client experience, and when I say that, I mean, we are obviously in the service business, and it is extremely important that all my clients are having an excellent experience.
With you?
With me. With my services, with what I do. It can be anything from communication, candidates that I give, it can be anything. And I think like in the last couple of months, I actually implemented this, put together a sort of a survey to stand after each placement. To each client and to see what they liked, what they didn't, where we can improve. I think it's really important for what we do to make sure that whoever deals with us has a really good experience, and hopefully they can recommend us. We can get referrals through that.
Yeah, wonderful. Well,
we have a repetitive business too with that.
Absolutely. I mean, we literally just had, as you walked into the door, this drama on the deal where, what was it, a 90K placement that the candidate got punted before they paid the invoice. And our lovely consultant, John, saved the day, and the client said, no, we're going to honour that, and we're going to pay the invoice. And, we were absolutely, stoked with that. And I would not think that would have happened if they didn't like him.
That's right. And even, we have replacement terms and everything, but I think that sometimes you also need to bend a little bit and make sure there's a lot of agencies, particularly bigger agencies, when you fall outside your standard terms, they just turn around and say, well, tough luck. Whereas as smaller businesses, we really want to make sure that we care and we look after our clients really well.
Absolutely. I remember the first time Pete joined us, I'm talking 10 years ago, and he was still quite young. And I said, day one, we've got to meet this client. He goes, I know nothing about valuations, which was the sector we're recruiting. And I said to him, it doesn't matter. And he goes, okay. And I said, think of this guy as you're sitting across from him at the pub and your goal is to just have fun and like him. He's like, okay. And we came from a gnarly, you must get business, recruitment agency, you must get specs, you must get commitment. And it's like, he was just like, oh, okay. And from that point on, he's just taken that through everything he does. So totally agree with what you're saying. Hadn't even thought of it as a KPI or a metric because it was just something
you can measure that. Yeah,
you can measure that. I love that. And so this survey, was this something you put together, or is this something you've outsourced?
I put it together.
Okay.
So I work, when I work with clients, I ask how they measure their own performance. And one particular was we send surveys out of, particularly after each hire that they do in terms of machines and stuff. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. I should probably do it myself. You don't hear that much in recruitment, but again, even like a 5-6 questions, like how did you do, how was the communication, like what can we do better, you will find that when they write it down, they're really honest in their answers. And sometimes you tend to avoid that feedback. You're like, oh, if they didn't say anything, I'm just not, exactly, I'm not just gonna poke the bear. But it's extremely important. So you get that feedback on board, and hopefully you do better next time.
I love it.
I think so. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Number 2, your top 3 interview questions. You got a limited amount of time. You've got 3 questions you got to ask just to get what you need to get out of it. What are they?
Okay, so I think my first one will be, what is your biggest achievement, or what is the thing that you're most proud of career-wise? I can read a CV, there's a lot of things and stuff, but asking that question, the candidate actually thinks about their career overall, and they tell you what made them stand out, what was their biggest achievement. And it depends on the response. It can work out quite a lot about their career trajectory. Like if they say, oh, my biggest achievement was in 1986 when I won an award, I'm like, right,
okay. Living in the past.
Okay. Exactly. But it can be anything from I won a particular contract, I saved the company a certain amount of money. Like it can be whatever depending on their particular job. But it pushes them to think, okay, what am I good at? What have I done in my career that I'm proud of?
And it's typically something they're passionate about too.
That's right.
Which then is like, okay, well, if you find more of that, maybe you'll be really excited to join this new
That's
job.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So that's question 1.
Yes, that's question 1. Question 2, once again, it's something that I learned doing a panel interview with a client. So I was there with a client interviewing a candidate that I presented, and they've asked the candidate, what did you learn in your last job? As in, was a thing in particular that you learned, and how did it make you a different person? In a way, like with that question, you're asking them about their learning curve, if there was a certain mistake that they made, and what did they learn out of it? And again, it pushes people to think, have I learned anything in my last position? Have I made myself better? Like how, sort of like, is there been any improvement curve in my career and that?
I like it.
Quite like it.
I like it. It's like a self-reflection.
It's like self-reflection, and you're thinking, and if you haven't learned anything, it's also, a wake-up call. I'm like, all right, I've been in a job for, 3 years, haven't learned anything. Haven't made a mistake, haven't learned from it. So it tells me a lot.
Fantastic. Third one?
Third one is a question that I ask. Obviously, I need to know at what stage of the process they are. So I want to know, are you live? Are you active? Are you ready to move? Like if I present you with an opportunity and I get you an interview, are you actually going to be there? Are you motivated to move? So it is understanding at what stage of the process they are. Are they ready to move? Flirting with the idea? Sometimes you talk to a lot of people, they're not quite ready. There's
nothing worse than when you head on someone, your client's like, I need this person now, I'll hire them today, and then the candidate's like, well, I need to take my time.
Yeah, exactly. So I just need to understand, are you committed to leave? If you are, then let's.
And then I guess a subset to that is like, what is the push factor or pull factor? Of you leaving, like
exactly.
what's pushing you to leave?
Why you're looking to leave, exactly. Because if they're looking, obviously that's something you want to investigate too. The reasons why they're motivated to leave, and like you can feel when someone is ready.
Oh, okay. So when they counteroffer you, I'll take it.
Exactly.
See ya.
That's right.
I like it. Okay, cool. So we're 2 out of the 5 questions through. This one's a great one. Your favourite, so number 3, your favourite closing question, if you have one.
I do.
Okay.
I do. So my favourite closing question is, what are your reservations? And it works for both candidate and client. So if I present somebody who goes an interview, everything went well and stuff, okay, what are your reservations? Assuming that there are reservations makes people open up and like, location, or I'm not sure if I can make budget within that time frame. Okay, there's a reservation there. Let me go back to client and say, those are the reservations. Can we cover them up? Same with clients. I'm like, interview very well. Okay, what are your reservations on them? And I say, I don't know if they can quite grasp this aspect or that. Then you go back and you cover off on that.
So you're forcing them.
So
You're forcing them to tell
essentially-
you what they're actually making the decision
I'm assuming
on.
that there is a reservation. Surely there is. So what reservation is that? Because then you will also understand the magnitude of the reservation itself. You know, if there's
They're just terrible at the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a big one.
Okay.
I like the guy. He was
Yeah.
very good. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I use them for both at different stage of the process, and you'll see if they change or not.
Do you ever empower your candidates or clients? If you know sometimes there's an imbalance in the process, you go, okay, I know the client really wants this, but the candidate's a little bit meh. Would you empower your client at that final meeting to say, what are your reservations?
Yes.
I love taking what we do and giving it to the candidates and clients,
absolutely.
and it actually gets it done way quicker.
It gets it done quicker. It's more transparent, and at least you know where you stand on both sides. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you know I wrote these questions for myself? Really, I just wanted to brain drain every recruiter in town.
Oh, really?
Get their tips and tricks. This is a good one. I'll use that one.
So, yeah.
Number 4, our favourite one. How do you handle the dreaded counteroffer?
Oh, counteroffers.
Mm.
Oh. Look, again, it's a conversation that you need to have really early on, and you need to understand why they're motivated to leave.
Well, it comes back to your questions, right?
It comes back to my question, because you can counteroffers at multiple stages, but the reality of the matter is, if that happens, I can feel it if somebody's going to take it or not already at second meeting. And if somebody tells me I want to leave and there's nothing that's gonna make me stay, I hate my job, I hate my boss, that's something that even with more money or a different job within the company can't change. But I've done the counteroffer sort of conversation in a lot of stages, and sometimes you drop in statistics and you're like, oh, that you're going to leave anyway, like all that stuff that you find on the internet. Sure, but if their only motivation to leave is because they were overviewed for a promotion or money, it's easier for a candidate to stay rather than to leave. Stay an extra 6 months, get the extra however much, and then you leave after. So in a way, understanding why they're moving is crucial. And then, like I said, I know who's going to move 100% and who not. And the reality of the matter is I lost the candidate not long ago, even though we had all the conversation around counteroffer and stuff. The employer came back, offered them a different job in the business, different job, different department, better pay, and the candidate was like, I just need to give it a go. And I'm like, well,
sometimes a counteroffer happens. Most of the time it happens, you go, and you've got all the arguments, and sometimes it happens, and you go,
I can't, sometimes you know that it's wrong. If you say, oh, they offer me another time, I'm like, that's not gonna.
I had one. I can think of 2 that stand out to me where it was like, we had a guy. He was working for a construction company. We were getting him a job in the consultancy. It was a very exciting job. He got an amazing offer. He was stoked. The reason he was leaving was because there was no funding for what he did. He was just like, it's me. The team's shrinking, and they're not replacing them, and it's just more and more work for the same money. The counteroffer was a pay bump of $50,000 and a $500,000 allowance a year to build the team how he wants. And because this was run through an ABN through this contractor, he was like, I basically got $500,000 check to build whatever I want to do. And if I can just do it myself, I get to keep it. And I was like, dude, take that. I'm sorry, I'm going to miss out on a big fee here, but dude, you need to take that.
That's right.
Yeah.
At some point, do what's good for you. Man.
Yeah, exactly. So some of them you can't avoid, but look, so if I take that, if I distill that down, how do you handle a counteroffer? Sounds like you got
very early in the process.
Always early in the process.
Always early in the process. Yeah.
It's looping back to your interview questions, really.
Yeah.
You know what they're going to do.
I think so.
You become a little bit like Nostradamus after a while.
You go, just tell.
This one's going to get me, I can tell.
Yes.
The
worst is when you have a really good communication throughout the process, and then offers, and then the communication starts slowing down, and you're like,
where'd you go? Come back.
I know it's happening, it's coming. Yes.
Okay, cool. Last one. And I think I like this question because most people would view recruiters as upbeat, positive, A-type, energetic people. But the reality is, we have to deal with the highs and lows of recruitment day in, day out.
Yeah.
I've had 3 heart attacks this morning. It's 11:49. And I'm still upbeat. So my last question, which I love to ask, is how do you pull yourself out of a slump?
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to playbook?
Yeah, look, it does happen. Like you said, it's recruitment, right? You're dealing with people, you can do everything right, and things can be out of your control. So that is, and that when it happens, I think it's good to think about what you really enjoy doing. Like usually when I'm in that state of mind, it's no point in me just like dwelling on it and just staying at my desk. I'll just stop what I'm doing, get my dog, go for a walk, get a bit like a walk in nature, getting a bit of fresh air and stuff. And also I think that during the years, probably because of my recruitment career, I've adopted a bit of a stoic approach, as in there's things that I can't change. So no point in just thinking about it and that's it. What happens, I can't change it. And so I need to get back in a state of mind where I'm thinking tomorrow's another day and I've got complete control over what's going to happen tomorrow.
So you're basically saying, so when a slump implies there's highs and lows, right? And I know I have noticed over the years that my high highs and my low lows, both ends have come. It's just more just cruise control now. It's like, these things happen. Oh, cool. I made a deal. Great. But I'm not going to get too excited about it. I'm not going to lose my shit. And the same with the slumps, right?
That's so true.
So have you noticed that too?
I've noticed that. Yeah. And I remember at the beginning, a counteroffer or something or even a bad comment or bad feedback, it would have impacted me so bad. I was thinking about it. And whereas now, I'm really starting to think, okay, these sort of things are happening and what is making us grow as a professionally, personally, and whatever. So it's just a matter of taking a step back and thinking tomorrow's going to be another day and it's going to be better.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, look, thank you, Freddie.
Freddie,
the one and only Freddie. Cher, Madonna, Sia, Freddie.
Lovely.
That's all we have time for you today. Join our mailing list to receive this week's episode material, hello@thelearnrecruiter.com. And please, if you've got any value out of today's episode, subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn, follow Freddie on LinkedIn, share and recommend this podcast. It really does help us grow and get us out to a wider audience. Have an amazing day. And as always, may all your deals come true.